I don't believe you ever get the things that you want. I only believe that you become the person that is associated with the things that you want. Now that's really trippy, right? Really, really trippy, but it's true. It's true in the fact that you are never going to get that sports car, that Maserati, that Bugatti, that Ferrari, if that is what you are so inclined to do, by coming at it from a mindset or a feeling, an emotive, energetic level of an individual that is in poverty, that is still in poverty. So I'm going to take you through, by the end of this video, guys, I'm going to give you the step-by-step process that I use, my practical, most pragmatic application. I'm going to walk you through the hand. I've got a map as well. I've got another map coming at you very, very fast on how to transurf reality. So a lot of this is coming from a gentleman called Neville Goddard, who I'm sure that if you've been watching my videos, you should be very, very well acquainted with. So I'm going to teach you the ultimate technique for self-persuasion in 7 steps. So the first one is single-pointed mind. It means you need to know exactly what you want, not a general idea like I generally want this outcome. It has to be specific. It has to be spot on. It has to reflect your true desire. So if you want a particular dream body, you have to know what it will look like, how much you weigh, what is the specific feature of the body. Maybe you want broader shoulders. Maybe you want the cliche 6-pack. Maybe you want your obliques to be tearing at your sides. If you want a certain sum of money, know exactly to the dollar, to the pound sterling, to the euro, what you want. If you want a partner, know what he or she will looks like. Know what she will look like. If she's blonde, if she's brunette, if she's short, if she's tall, if she's curvy, if she's not, whatever your personal preference is, gentlemen, I do not discriminate. So the more specific you can be, the greater you'll be able to influence and discern ideal matter in the quantum. Meaning everything comes as a consequence of thought. All is mental. Everything that you see in your environment is a consequence of what was specifically imagined in the mind first. If you cannot be specific enough to tell the quantum, which is another way of saying it, what you would like to materialize into reality, will just take longer and longer because you don't know what you want to create either. So this is the key. This is the key. And I really encourage you to write this kind of stuff down. So whenever I'm doing this kind of technique, I write it down in my journal before I do the actual practical technique that I'll take you through in a moment. Here's the second step. So ask yourself, what would you be feeling if you were who you wanted to be right this second? So what is the feeling associated at that innate level of awareness of the individual that has the thing that you want? So say it is a partner, say it is a long-term partner. Put yourself in the mind and in the heart of that person. Are they feeling joyful? Are they feeling gratitude? I hope they'd be feeling gratitude. Are they feeling, an overwhelming sense of peace? Really try and sit in that emotion, because that is critical to marry the mind and the heart, or the logic and the feeling, the thought and the feeling together. Where would your mind be if you were the person you wanted to be? So if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe your mind is on your particular sales calls for the day, or on the invoices you need to be sending out to collect your money. How would you think in relation to the world in your new state? This takes time, guys. This isn't something that you can intangibly and just off the cuff think of, sitting here just thinking about it. It's an exercise, meaning you'll have greater results the more specific you'll be when you're writing things down. So I have a whole library of things that I've been able to bring into my reality just because I took the time to be specific. Let's transition into number 3, which is creating a scene. So you need to create a scene that would imply that you already have achieved your goal and that it is in the past. This is what people get mixed up with more often than not, is that they try to create the scene with an implication that they're going to get the thing. And if you are always in a state of wanting, a state of scarcity, a state of poverty, then you can never convince your reality that you're worthy of anything otherwise. So you need to create a scene that implies that you already have the thing that you want. Something you can add sensory vividness to and tones of reality. So I always say every single time you're rehearsing the scene, you add a new sensory layer, be it sight, be it smell, be it taste, be it touch, be it sound. Journal before bed what that scene might be, as it can be challenging to come up with it on the spot. So I'll just give an example here. Let's say you're sitting down at your dinner table while your beautiful girlfriend is cooking you your favorite meal. I've got steak and eggs here. So I would be imagining looking outside of my eyes. Again, not looking from the corner of the room or from another person's perspective. It's your POV. Let's say I'm sitting down at my dining table at the chair. What can you feel? Can you feel the arms of the chair? What's the temperature in the room? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it humid? Is it, breezy? What can you hear? Can you feel her? Can you hear her, frying up the steak, the crackling sound of the fat? What can you smell? Can you smell the beef and the eggs cooking and the butter and the ghee? It's all about creating it very, very. You have to have a visceral feel of it, very vivid, visceral feel to it. And the more compelling you do that, the more you can convince your subconscious that you're experiencing that in real time, because the mind can't distinguish between imagined and real events. That's the critical point here. Number 4, induce a sleepy state. Neville Goddard called this SATS, so a state akin to sleep, a state that's similar to sleep. So you want to get ready for bed at the usual time, a couple minutes before the usual times, let's say 10, 20 minutes, to get into that sleepy state. Lie in your bed and calm yourself. I personally can get very drowsy by lying in a fetal position, or sometimes on the floor. I know that's weird to say, but I've been experimenting with this recently. I can get into a pretty drowsy state laying flat on my back while my spine is complete in alignment on the floor. Now, what you'll feel is this: if you're doing this correctly, you need to concentrate here and try not to fall asleep. Is a kind of like floaty, lucid feeling. It's like it's like the moment between your conscious and unconscious and floating away to sleep. So you'll start to feel very light. You might get synesthesia, I believe it is, like tingling on the peripheries of your fingers and your toes. And you'll start to feel very, very light and out of body. And this is a good position to be in. Step number 5 is keeping focus. Keep your mind clear, so clear that you don't become drowsy. Make sure you do not allow your mind to wander on random things, otherwise you will fall asleep. Keep the intention fixed on imagining and rehearsing your scene. Number 6 is start to enact the scene. So it's really crucial, I mentioned before, that you're enacting it from the first person. While it may not be as vivid as the room that you're in now, it doesn't matter as long as you're imagining it from the first person and constantly going through the cycle, adding more sensory layers to it. Tell yourself what you're seeing is real and what you're touching and feeling is true and real and happening in the present moment. I can explain the feeling other than pretending that what you are imagining right now is real. Just try it. Don't worry about it if you're applying it right. Just imagine it is true. Just think what you are experiencing now is happening in real time. And what will happen is it will be indiscernible, almost indiscernible from reality. Step 7 is, if you keep yourself in the scene, do not worry about anything else. Remain faithful to it. Keep recounting it over and over and over and over. And then you'll fall asleep in this state. You'll have these wonderful feelings. You're floating away to dreamland in joy and gratitude and peace and in pleasure. And it will be one of the most wonderful night's sleep that you've ever had. You will wake up next morning in an amazing, amazing mood. And there won't be a doubt in your mind that what you've experienced in your scene rehearsal has happened in real life. And the last thing that you will want to do is redo it the next day, because in your mind it has already happened. And this is what Goddard called a gift from God. So gentlemen, you can practice this evening. It's a very, very powerful technique. Go through the steps again, pause it at the moment, and you can kind of go through maybe the bits and pieces that I haven't read. But this is it. This is exactly what I have done, and as I have alluded to throughout the video there, I brought many things into my reality. The exact sum of money I wanted to be making from my online businesses and Twitter, on connecting with people, like-minded people in my town, in my city, even to the values of those people. Maybe I won't go into that too much, but it's crazy powerful, crazy powerful. So, interested to see what you start to create, gentlemen. But like I always say, these are just theories. Take what is valuable, discard which is not, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon, gents. Get busy creating.